Okay, here we go. Sound's working. I know that's working. So let's see what we got going on here. A little bit of NFL draft drink. NFL drink. That works too. Drink along time here. So let's get this going. Where do I want to watch this? Do we want to watch it? I gotta go with it. I love ESPN. I do. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say like they're the best anymore, but I still like their personalities better than like NFL Network and all that kind of stuff. So let's get this draft going. Figured sit around, drink a couple beers, watch a draft. I'm a Dolphins fan, by the way, for those that don't know.
An opt-out decision?
There we go. So, I should probably figure out a way to do this with a little bit of sound. So, Carson chiming in already with his little Trevor thing. Let's do this. Let's put it on my iPad instead over here. I think that'll work better. Only because I want to have a little bit of sound in the background because I don't want to wear my headphones for this. And I kind of want to listen to ESPN. So let's see what we got going on. I was late to the party because I was drinking a couple beers. And the last beer I did, I usually do mystery beers first. And that's my you already won my favorite comment of the night. Way overconfident Jags fan. Listen, the Jags can do their thing. They don't mess. They're not on our side over there. So, Ryan, check it in. Lubru, Carson chiming. You'll appreciate this. Brewed a beer today called T-Logger. Oh, Jesus Christ. Shit's about to get real. Let's see. Let's watch. I might have to finagle this a certain way. Let me do something here. Oh, need to back you out of me. Okay. So I have that going on there. Let me grab one more thing. Okay, here we go. So I got my iPad here, which I want to be able to kind of like listen to sound without you guys hearing it, which I can do. I can do that on my computer too, but I forget how I have it set up, and I don't want to spend the time figuring out. So this is probably the easiest way for me to do this. Go. Let's see. Everything's all tangled up like crazy now. I don't know why my thing is not playing now. Come on. Okay. Why is this not working? Why is that not working? We're getting there. Carson asking who am I after as a Dolphins fan? an elite pass catcher. I want Kyle Pitts, but he's not going to drop to us at 6. He's going to go to Atlanta. And then depending on, I mean, it goes Pitts, Chase, Waddle. Those are my top 3. So let's put it this way, actually, let me get this shit going because this is actually annoying the shit out of me. I need to be watching this stuff right now. Okay, because we are 5 minutes to go time. There we go. Okay, there we go. So here we go. Okay. I got sound going now. So anyway, we have Lou Brew chiming in. Like I said, my buddy Ryan, he does a bunch of homebrew stuff on his channel. So if you want to go check that out, you certainly should. Let's get that shit out of your guys' way so you're not blocking my gorgeous face. So go check him out. He actually asked me what I'm drinking. I'm drinking this, buddy. You know what that is? I put the can away. It is Burley Oak from down Texas. It's their post or pre-war pills. As I said, Finn's fan. Skilled pass catcher we're going with for our 6th pick. We want to go Pitts, Chase, Waddle. That's the perfect thing. But here's the thing. It depends on what Atlanta and, more importantly, Cincinnati does. So if the Falcons take none of those 3, and then conversely, the Bengals take none of those 3. So let's say the Falcons go crazy and I have to actually answer this because it's Live Oak, not Burley Oak. Sorry. I meant to say Live Oak. I don't know why I said Burley Oak. It's called Live Oak. Anyway, yeah, there he goes. That's the guy who sent it to me. It's Live Oak pre-war pills. Yeah, so Tony's knows what's going on. So one of those pass catchers. But here's the thing. If they go Chase, let's say Chase, or not Chase, fucking Fields goes to Atlanta, or a quarterback goes to Atlanta. Let's say they do that shit. And then let's say the Bengals ended up going tackle. I think we should trade back further because I want one of those 3 and I want more draft capital because I'm a Dolphins fan and that's what Dolphins do. So if none of those 3 elite guys get picked, even though I want Pitts so much, I would like to move a little further back, not far back, 2 spots maybe, like go to the Broncos or something like that. And I could still pick up one of those 3 guys. So we'll see what happens here. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we'll see. Stuart, drink Voodoo Sour Apple Berliner Weiss while I picked up 2 bottles of their barrel-aged stout and cognac barrels that were then Woodford Reserve 3 years bourbon. Dude, Stuart, you're not allowed to talk about pornography on YouTube, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, Carson's like, Stuart, that is all sorts of stuff going on and a very sorts of good stuff. Which brewery? Yeah, that's the Live Oak we're talking about. Matthew Meteor says the Bears will trade up to drafting a terrible quarterback. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, maybe you'll get Aaron Rodgers. I know that's not happening because he's in division, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm really curious to see if anything happens with Aaron Rodgers. Considering his announcement, hours before the draft, that he doesn't want to be in Green Bay any longer, which is not all that surprising. But for that to come out like an hour or 2 before the draft is 2 different things. Either he leaked it or the Packers leaked it because they want to trade him. Carson saying, haha, safe bet. And then Carson says, how'd you end up a Dolphins fan? I've talked about this before, but I'll rehash it now. We have a couple minutes to go here. I have 2 brothers. Both are older than me. So when I became a sports fan, I had to decide who I wanted to like. But I like both my brothers. So I picked collectively who both of my brothers hated the most, because that's how I roll. So I had a brother that was Boston through and through. I had a brother that was New York through and through. So I have a brother that was a Jets and a Patriots fan. So I had to pick between the Bills and the Dolphins. We were talking about when I got into football was in the mid to late 80s, so the Dolphins had a bit more prestige than the Bills. I picked the Dolphins, and lo and behold, the Bills ripped off 4 Super Bowls. But then now I feel fine because I didn't win any of them. But that's how I picked all my sports teams. So, I had my one Boston through and through, Celtics, and I had Knicks, so I'm a Lakers fan. Mets, Red Sox, so I'm a Yankees fan. But all of us like the Devils. We all have the same team. They both like the New Jersey Devils, so I'm a Devils fan. So that's the only one we all agree on. So yeah, there you go. I'll tell you what, though. I don't know if any of these quarterbacks, besides Trevor Lawrence, even then, I'm not like overly enamored with. Maybe it's just because I don't know. I don't know if he looks the part for me. But all the other people, all the other players, maybe the only other quarterback that I think I like is Justin Fields. I don't like Wilson. I don't like the Trey Lance is very, very intriguing, but there's really just no data on him. And I just don't know. I mean, so like if I was picking second, I was Jets, I'd pick Fields if I was them, but that's just me. Fucking Pitts. Pitts is a fucking monster, man. Like, and at first I was like, why do I want Pitts? We have Gesicki. Man, that two, if you have two, and I love Mike Gesicki as a tight end. And Carson saying anything despite the Pats. That's right, motherfucker. Yeah. Man, the NFL's so great, isn't it? It's just fucking awesome. Like, it's like, I don't even know. I just don't even get it when people just like, I get it when people don't like the NFL because it's, capitalistic and people die and their brains get all scrambled up like scrambled eggs and shit like that. But there's a reason why they make that kind of money. So I'm not going to sit here and shed a tear, and be like, oh, I feel like shit and I'm 50 and be like, but I made $9 billion. I feel like shit and I'm 45 and I have $50. So it is what it is. Yeah. I would like actually to do something. Let's do that. Okay, that still works. So let's there. Be a part of this celebration of the sports. I don't want to do that. Oh, I can do that actually. What am I saying?
As they look on, and we will have virtual looks at their evenings
tonight. Okay. Got it, homie. Old school MDRs, man. Look, I got them braced up with the. You have to like these old school. Jeremy Logic actually called out my headphones. These are like I've had these headphones, so I was a DJ for. Well, I guess I still am. What's your DJ? You never done a DJ. I mean a real one, not like a cheesy one. These are my DJ headphones I bought in 1999. and they will always be with me. I love these motherfuckers. Yeah, no, these headphones are some of the best headphones in the history of DJ headphones. The only problem is they crack right here and they snap and they get all fucked up. But if you just take two twisty ties and roll them across each side like that, it braces them and they're brand fucking new. The only thing I've replaced on these are the pads. I've never replaced the drivers or anything like that. I'm not going to say they're the best headphones ever in the history of mankind. There's better ones for better fidelity, but these are my bangers. I'll wear these. I'll take these. I'll throw them in a bag. I'll throw them wherever, and they'll always work. I'm actually kind of fun. I'm wildly excited that somebody's actually mentioned these after I've used these probably for about 4 years on online hangs that no one's ever noticed what they are. So he's calling them out. He's saying, he's like Sony MDRs, old school AF, me too, dude. And he's like had mine since 2000. That's what I mean. Like they work and never stop working. So to be honest, I'm going to have to mute you when Rogers announces Trevor and my life changes forever. That's fine. Yeah, the Pioneers were cool too, but those were the oblong ones. Were those the oblong ones? I think the ones that weren't perfectly round. I think I don't know. I had friends who had those. I've just always been these Sony ride or die the whole time. Okay. Old school drum and bass DJ. Yeah, I'm still I'm in my room's not clean, so yeah, there's my you can see my turntables right there, my mixer, all of my stuff. This is where I still jam. I got my records are down there in the corner. You probably didn't see it. My room's a mess right now, but you're basically in my in my room for all my playing and all that stuff. Yeah, techniques. And the funny part is that I actually I don't know how you roll, but I'm anti Serato. I'm anti Tractor. I think beat matching is a very integral part of DJing. So I actually think that's the worst thing that ever happened to DJing. And I contemplated getting rid of my techniques several years ago, not for anything, but I wasn't using them. But I could never do it, obviously. But I contemplated for a minute. I'm like, maybe I'll sell them. And when I was going to sell them, they were cheap, retail secondary value on used techniques were probably, $300-400 a table. Now they're crazy, now it's insane pricing on them. So just from that aspect, I'll never sell them. But if I ever want to, I know I can get a good buck. But mine are old school. I bought brand new Sam Ash. I bought them from. And the cool thing about mine, which I bought, which I bought brand new, and at first I thought I got a weird set of tables. They accidentally gave me international table, so mine has the screw in it for 220 and whatever it is. I could actually plug. I have the adapter for it, so I can take mine overseas and plug them into an outlet overseas. It has the round plug, and then I get a little adapter. So I ended up getting a good deal on them, and I've had them since the day I bought them. And you're right, brother. You can't match beats. You're on a real DJ. No, they're not 1210s. They're 1200s. They're not 1210s. That's the weird part about them, is that most 1210s they'll have those adapters. And when I originally bought mine, because I bought my tables I think I bought them in 95. I'm 99% sure I bought them in 95. All 1210s were black at that time. So now they're just silver, regular 1200s with that adapter on. That's why they're weird. You don't see a ton of them. Actually, they probably have a better resale value because of that. But you're talking about you can't match beats. You're on a real DJ. Dude, don't even get me started. So many people that I know grew up DJing with. That's, I don't know. So there's dudes that I lived with that all we did was DJ 24/7. That's all we did. And I was, for the lack of being a super fucking arrogant douche, I was really good at it. I was pretty good. I played Frank Bones. I played fucking Jimmy Liddell. I played with everybody, a ton of different people. But there's dudes that I played with that we would make mixtapes, actual cassette mixtapes. And like it would take me a week or two to get a really good mix down, like lay out a track list, and then not just lay out a track list, learn everything, all that fun stuff, and then actually get not flawless, because you can't be flawless to a certain extent. You could be as close as you possibly can, but it would take me 2 weeks to kind of really get a good set down and record and get through it. And I had friends that were like, they loved it. They put in as much effort as they possibly could, and they loved it. They were wanting to be DJ so bad. They played records for 10 hours a day. Like, we did nothing. I don't even know how we afforded an apartment. And they could never, ever make a mixtape because they would fuck up all the time. And then once the Untitled Chapter come out, they're banging out mixtapes every fucking 5 days that are like beat lock perfect. And they're like, oh, I'm like, dude, really? You're fucking phony as fuck. And I've lost like a ton of friends from it. You know what I mean? I'm like, why don't you just go to fucking the bar and click fucking next tune on the fucking touch tunes? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all you're doing. You're hitting fucking touch tunes, and it's just you're not doing anything. And I've literally lost friends over it. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Untitled Chapter and how much I hate it. Yeah. Says, do you have any experience thoughts on V-Moda looking to new set over the ear headphones? I don't know what V-Moda is, dude. Ooh, those look expensive, man. They look like expensive. I mean, they look expensive. Well, this is my thought on headphones. Okay. Don't look on Amazon reviews. Don't look on like any reviews. Join a good forum, like a hi-fi forum. Join like a headphone forum, or join like a headphone Reddit, or go to like an audio visual thing and talk and just speak to people about fidelity and quality. And they will tell you, they'll be like, this set of headphones is $80, which is like half the price of a decent set, but they'll blow them out of the fucking water. And that's the best way to find headphones. It is, because there's so many headphones that are expensive that suck. There's cheap ones that are good. Ars Technica makes a bunch of really good headphones in the $58 range. There's a bunch of really good ones. You don't want to go by reviews. You want to go to actual, like, legit, like, audiophile headphone sites and let them kind of guide you. That's how I did for my home theater setup. I have a home theater. Not that you're listening right now, Carson, because you're waiting for this pick to go through. But my home theater speakers are called Bic America. No one knows who the fuck they are, and they're one of the highest fidelity speakers ever. So, let's see. Carson, born in 94, graduated in 94, son. Sync buttons are lame. Yes, they are. Me too. Key mixing and double drops, baby. LOL. Go Dolphins. Nice. I've got a Merino jersey in blue and white. Yeah. Albany, man. Albany. I was, when I was in big into techno, I was in northeastern Pennsylvania. So I went to some parties out in like Binghamton, like the Planet. There was like a bunch of Planet, Mercury or Pluto or some shit like that, Saturn, shit like that. I remember a couple parties were in like Binghamton, stuff like that. But most of the stuff I did was in Philly and New York, and I used to go out to Montreal every now and then. Actually, never been to an Albany party before. But we used to have a whatchamacallit. We used to have a warehouse. We used to throw parties in northeast Pennsylvania called Home Base, and we used to throw a bunch of parties there. We've had a bunch of people come through there, like crazy people. We had like Smatic Responses and but all the Sonic Groove crew, like and Bones and Heather and Hart and all those guys just come through all the time, and we used to have a blast down there. Ghosty alien parties, is that what it was? Yeah, Sonic Groove, man. I used to go Sonic Groove twice a week, and I lived in Scranton. Yeah. We used to throw parties with all those guys one time. Yeah. Frankie's kind of gone off the deep end lately. He still does play a bunch of parties, but he's crazy now. Man, we played a bunch of times with those guys. I was at Sonic Groove once when a fucking hobo threw a trash can through the front window. And Adam was behind, because if you go in old Sonic Groove, well, not old Sonic Groove, the old new Sonic Groove, the original one in Brooklyn was different, but the one on Bleecker, like you'd walk in and it was like everybody was up on that pedestal or whatever, and like we're sitting at the stations fucking ripping through, and we heard this commotion, people freaking out. Adam's arguing with somebody out front, blah blah, and he comes in, and the homeless guy threw a fucking trash can through the fucking window, and Adam's like going to run outside to chase guys. He's like, "You guys coming?" So we all went running after a fucking hobo. You're on the clock, Carson. I hope they pick a lineman.
And so here we go. It's a celebration in this wonderful city and everywhere that they love the sport. They are ready in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen them do that before. I've done that before, actually, just to show people how funny it is to play a record upside down, you know?
In Jacksonville, that is the stadium in Jacksonville. Which I the two first-round picks. We know what the first will be. The second we shall see. They are picking first because they were 1-15 last year. The worst record in franchise history. Winning week 1 and then dropping 15 in a row. And if you look back over the last several years, it has been a struggle. They've missed the playoffs 12 of the last 13 years. Again, 1-15 a year ago, the worst record in franchise history. But in to try to save the day is Urban Meyer. It really is a fascinating combination if you think about it. He was the most successful college coaches and the most successful college quarterback.
Cracked open the Jester King for the actual draft itself. Well, the first beer of the actual draft. I reviewed it before I went on the air, but this is their the nuclear fission, but it's nuclear fission. Actually, I got this yesterday via my boy Tony, who's probably in the chat, and I shook it up yesterday because he stores the bottles on the side, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm gonna wait a week or two to drink this anyway. Yeah, I waited fucking 24 fucking hours to fucking open this fucking thing. God, I was talking about this earlier. It's like the NFL is just like, I'm like, if you ask me like what my favorite sport is, it's Premier League soccer is one. The NFL is one. Like, there's no 1A, 1B. It's perfectly tied. But if you strip soccer from the equation, because that's very much an international thing, a lot of United States people just don't really get down with soccer. It's a crazy how much more popular NFL is than any other sport in the United States. It's not even fucking funny. Like, a lot of people, like, if you talk to like NBA fans or like hockey fans are the best. When you talk to like NBA fans and like baseball fans and all that stuff, they kind of be like, well, this, well, that. Like, I don't even think half the time people like understand logically how much more popular the NFL is. And I'll put it this way for you. So the game 7 of the NBA Finals will get like an 1/8 the amount of viewers as a preseason NFL game. Like, more like 5 times more people will watch the Pro Bowl, which no one fucking watches, than like game 7 of the World Series. That's how much more popular it is. It's not even like close. It's like sad how not close it is. Look at him. Smug motherfucker. I don't know if you guys are watching ESPN, but that's what I'm watching. So I'm seeing him sitting there next to his girlfriend or his wife. I'm not quite sure which was which. I assume. I don't want to assume anything, but that's what I assume. But it's not that he's smug. He knows he's going to number one. It's kind of like preconceived notion. Like, what does he care? This is like, they're probably like, oh, you got to go on screen. You got to sit there and you got to wave high and do all that kind of fun stuff. My favorite part is that he's not even at the draft. Usually number one pick has to be there. You know, come out and dap up or hug fucking Goodell. But he's at home. He's like, yeah. He's like, just, I don't need to be there. So I purposely put on ESPN now. I'm listening to Bubba McFarlane, which I think is like, why am I doing that to myself? Oh, Jeremy's Logic just finished up some Drecker and 450 North. You're okay, buddy? You might have some gastrointestinal problems coming in your future. You just drink soup. 2 alcoholic soups. And Carson saying, as soon as the pick gets announced, I'm popping that Southern Swells Barrel Aged Coffee Stout. My last one, sad but worth it and fitting of the occasion. That's right. Don't wait, dude. Drink that shit, son. Yeah, don't wait. Why would you wait? Why? You know you're gonna love it. It's an occasion. Enjoy yourself.
You see, it's a nice, easy throw, designed half-field read, get the ball quickly. This is Trevor at Clemson. It's exactly the same thing. He says that he's just going to run this kind of semi-7 route on the outside here, and he's going to throw it to the
Yeah, NFL guy picks that off, though, or knocks that down. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't watch a ton of college football, but I don't know. The Trevor Lawrence thing, man, there's something about him that just didn't pass the test in my eyes. Like, not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying that, but it wasn't like people talk about him like in Andrew Luck terms or like Peyton Manning terms. I don't. Like, that's an easy throw, man.
These are the exact same formations, the exact same plays, the exact same ball handling. Nobody's done it. Trevor's done it. That's what you need to see when they take the field in 2021.
Here I am breaking Carson's heart. I post my first Southern Swells beer that I'm like, yeah, it's mediocre and kind of fucked up. And then that night, I'm like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is kind of mediocre too. It's like I'm just like doing this to hurt Carson. Dad's sitting there trying not to pick his nose right now. Like, he's like, don't move and do something dumb. Why are they waiting this long? Like, does this bother you, Carson, that they're waiting this long to take this pick? Like, shouldn't have been like Goodell's like, and on the clock or the Jaguars, and the pick is in. Like, wouldn't that be a thing? Like, the only way it's not that, if they don't pick it immediately, they're waiting for a trade. And by a trade, what would it take to trade the first pick of the draft right now? Like 6 first-round picks? You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen. It says Trevor Lawrence head of the game on the Jaguars playbook. Like, they literally gave him the playbook already. So,
Peyton Manning had a chance to bump into Trevor Lawrence, and they had a conversation in which Peyton Manning told Trevor Lawrence that the Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer needed to play him every play.
As an Englishman, I have no idea about the draft, but 5 years ago today, I got married in Vegas. So celebrating with a Rochefort tent. So there you go, man. You don't need to know because it is dumb. It is dumb if you don't live here. And Matt saying you can only trade 3 first-round picks. I did not know that. There you go. So yeah, I mean, you don't need to know American football. Listen, if I try to explain the Premier League and transfers and academy and all that shit, people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's weird in both ends of the section. I know how weird it is the draft is, but I actually prefer the draft over transfer, but I also love the existence of relegation. So it's kind of like I think the draft would be a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, but it's trying to, let's put it this way. There's think of like I don't know how to put it. Think of if all the academies in the English Premier League were independent of themselves and all the best players were up for grabs, not for price, but for whoever was the worst in the Premier League. So it's like, okay, the worst people in the Premier League get to pick the best people from all the academies first because they suck. And that creates parity and it creates evenness. Now, if you have relegation, doesn't really mean that much, but yeah. Yeah, Carson's like, what is happening? Please pick ASAP. That's what I mean. Like, I don't understand why this took 10 minutes.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence,
There you go, buddy.
quarterback, Clemson.
Pop that bottle. Look at how excited they are. Wow, that family's excited. No, okay. There was a little bit of a delay.
Coronation, then a competition for Trevor Lawrence, and still the moment is to be overwhelming.
I get that. I hate the transfer window. By the way, I still think you get through the next round of Europa. I do think so too. It's scoring a goal away. That's a big deal. If we didn't get that goal away, it'd be a little bit worse. But I think Arteta picked a horrible side. I think his strategy sucked. But I still think we did everything we possibly could to give that game away, and we still got a goal away, and we only lost by 1 goal. I mean, Aubameyang with malaria came on with like 10 minutes left and almost scored the equalizer. If we scored an equalizer, we're through without a doubt. But we still have a chance. We'll see what's what. But I think we'll be much, much stronger in the next leg. So we'll see. I am very, very, very optimistic. Matt, have a good night. I'll send you a link to some mixes I did a few years back before my kids were born. Do that, dude. Matt at massivebeers.com or massivebeers@gmail.com. Send them to me, and I'll send you some old school mixes. So there you go. Tit for tat, brother. Enjoy your night.
Sam, obviously, turnovers were an issue at USC. Did he fix that? Well, not necessarily because he didn't have the talent around him. But last 4 games of 2018, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was at 64%. Last 9 games of 2019, 14 touchdowns, 5 picks. Last 5 games this past year, 6 touchdowns, 3 picks against 5 playoff teams. You think about Sam Darnold, I think the best is yet to come.
Cheers, homie.
23 years of age. He went through trials and tribulations with the Jets. Who didn't support him with the kind of talent.
Okay, I'm going to grab a beer because the Jets are just going to pick Zach Wilson because they're dumb.
Sam Darnold, I think a sideways move. I had a higher grade on Darnold coming out than I do on Zach Wilson. I like Zach, but I had a higher grade on Sam. I would have stuck with Sam. They didn't. Joe Douglas fell in love with that arm talent. He said, hey, if we're picking 3, we're keeping Sam. But he loved Zach Wilson. And I think that arm talent, that ability that people say is like, I'm not buying. But the improvement he showed, guys, this year from 2019 to 2018 was incredible. He went from being a guy who's turning it over, not sensing pressure, bad interceptions, fumbles, to being flawless from the get-go. And I said all year, cupcake after cupcake, sugar levels through the roof, but the inferior competition did allow him to get confidence early. He maintained that. Think about it, faced no Power 5 opponents, 2 ranked teams, Boise State and Coastal Carolina. He was 3 and 4 with 9 touchdowns, 5 picks against Power 5 and ranked opponents in his career. But that ability to make every throw with that off-platform, arm angles that Mahomes like. He was a basketball player, point guard in high school, averaged 15 points a game. We got him there. Athletically, arm talent, and the phenomenal year. He went from 62% completion percentage in 2019 to 73.5 this year, to 11 touchdown passes to 33, rushed for almost 300 yards. That is an incredible turnaround. He had shoulder surgery going into 2019. Didn't play well that year. Now as a healthy quarterback.
Okay, where are we at? Okay. Arteta is not the right man for the job, but if you get through, I think you beat United. I'm fine with Arteta. I think it's been a very, very trying season. I think everything's been crazy. I actually think he's a good manager. I honestly do. Like I know he hasn't been great, but it's his first year. He's been really, really good at certain times. So, okay, I'm back. Thing is, things NFL at least are in the right world. There you go. Hillbilly, there you go. So, oh man, I hate the Jets so much. I hate the Jets. Hate them. The worst fans in the whole NFL. The owner of the company I work with, I work like right next to him. He's a Jets fan. His son's a Jets fan. I can't say that stuff to their face, but I hate Jets fans. The difference, and this is the problem, is see if you kind of lump together some of the worst fans in all the NFL together, you have like the Jets, the Eagles, the Raiders. You know what I mean? The difference between the Eagles and Raiders and Jets fan is that Eagles and Raiders, like if you go to the bathroom while you're at a game and you get in an argument with an Eagles or a Raiders fan, they'll punch you in the face while you're arguing. The Jets fan will argue with you and then apologize, and when you turn around and walk away, they'll stab you in the back. That's the difference between the two. So at least the Eagles and Raiders fan will punch you in the face while you're looking. So.
You see here the hard play action, roll left, throw back right. Now, why does this work? Because you see everybody's moving left. The defense thinks the ball's going to be thrown left on some kind of flood concept, and they throw it back across the field. Aaron Rodgers does it beautifully. Out there in San Francisco, you're going to see Jimmy Garoppolo do it. So just when you think a guy like Mac Jones can't run this kind of offense, yeah, he can. Why? Because you see Jimmy Garoppolo doing it right here. Hard play action, roll back left. Here you're going to see George Kittle. Looks like he's going to the 7 route to the corner. No, he's not. He's going to break it back across the field. Jimmy stops. Puts it on him beautifully. That's why you fall in love with Zach Wilson, because you go, hey, Michael Flores, are you going to design some of those plays? If you're designing that, all I need to do is go bing, and it's out of there.
Go to a Green Bay game, they'll throw rocks at you. Go to a Jets game, they'll throw bullets at you from guns. I did not think football in the U.S. was like that. Yeah, no, it's not as. Yeah, but the difference between football in the United States versus the UK is that when people fight in the UK, it's because loyalty for their club. People in the United States fight at football games because they're just assholes. Like it doesn't even matter at that point. You know, they're just whatever. Ooh.
For the second time in 4 seasons, the New York Jets will draft the quarterback in the top 3 selections of the NFL draft. Here comes the commissioner, Roger Goodell, to announce the Jets pick. With the second pick in the 2021 NFL draft.
Come on, pick a punter.
New York Jets selected Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU.
Yeah, because all the best quarterbacks come from BYU. Was it Ty Detmer? And Ty Detmer? And then there was the other Detmer, right? There was another Detmer that went there. He looks like Zac Efron, but smaller.
Being introduced to the fans, and the Jet fans get their first chance to see their new star. By the way, he's the first BYU quarterback to go around one since Jim McMahon in 1982.
Jim McMahon. And Jim McMahon wasn't a good quarterback, just for everybody getting scored home. Jim McMahon won a Super Bowl in the same way that, like, what's his name? Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl, or Trent Dilfer.
Has been tested. So we will see the players which is something that I know a lot of them miss. And so, Lewis, again, the lights will be bright on Broadway for a young man from Draper, Utah. That will have to be managed.
Roger Goodell has more body mass than him in a good way, not in like a fat way. Zach Wilson looks like he looks like Todd McShay. Oh, the Jets. I love the Jets. I love the Jets doing Jets things, man. They're the best.
Are really the ones who make or break these individuals in combination with what they are made up of inside. So, Mel, look, you hit it on the head. Joe Douglas, you're on the clock. Robert Sala, you're on the clock. Mike McMillan, you're on the clock. And Zach Wilson, so are you. Because they are going to surround him with a lot of help. They will get some offensive linemen and protect him. They have some nice pieces of training already, and they're going to add some more. This kid is a phenomenal talent. And he's got a support structure that the guy Sam Darnold, you're right, never had.
And you got to love him for this reason, guys, because you had the second pick. You keep Sam Darnold, you got the second pick. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Jamar Chase. You got Devonta Smith. You got a big-time weapon for your quarterback. Now, you don't have that, but you got Zach Wilson.
Mel Snickers takes us down now to Susie, who's standing by with Zach Wilson. Susie?
Well, the marriage between Zach Wilson and the Jets seemed like a done deal.
Ow! Just banged my knee.
Zach, when did you know for sure that you were a New York Jet?
You know what? I wouldn't believe it till the day it happened, but this is exactly what I was hoping for. I'm so excited for the opportunity, and I know we're going to have something special, and so I can't wait to get to work.
It's been so long since we saw a player here.
He looks like a baby.
The commissioner.
Like a baby.
That's like for you.
You know what? The whole situation is still so surreal for me. I'm soaking in every moment. I'm looking around, and this is a blast. This is a dream come true for me.
Zach, New York is a big stage. What is it about your personality, your mentality, that you know you're the right fit?
Yeah, I know. These guys,
Anytime a quarterback says a lot, they suck.
got those qualities, and I can't wait to go in there. I love the coaching staff. I love everything they have to offer, and I can't wait to get to New York City.
Zach, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
There's the family backstage. Once again, it is a large family. His grandparents have 36 grandchildren. So
All his brothers look like Darnold.
Again, they will have another first-round pick tonight, currently sitting at 23, and rumors they may be trying to trade up. And so we shall see. Again, they have drafted a lot of quarterbacks over the years.
So the next three picks are huge.
So Zach Wilson actually is the highest drafted quarterback they've ever had in the common draft era. You see Darnold, we know the disaster that turned into, Sanchez and some of the other names. So on we go. The Jets have their new quarterback. And so now the plot thickens. We go from the part of the evening where we thought we knew everything to the part where we don't really think we know anything. This is how we got here. The third pick in this draft originally belonged to the Miami Dolphins, who had gotten it from the Houston Texans. Now it belongs to the San Francisco.
I'll make a little bit of a comment here too about my team. I've never felt more positive about my team than I have now. Like, we seem to be doing everything correctly every single time we do something. Like, as far as trading, moving around the draft, selecting players, playing players, hiring staff, hiring coaches. It's like every time we do something, it's not just me being happy with it. It's every time we do something, all the other teams and all the other pundits and all the other talking heads go, wow, that was really smart. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing for me to think it's smart because I'm a homer, but it's another thing for everybody else to be like, God damn it, why are they doing everything correctly? So I'm kind of curious to see what happens here.
As a full-time starter, and he lit it up. So then you think about Justin Fields, the forgotten quarterback. That's still wrong. He's being talked about as the fifth quarterback off the board. I think he could be one of the best in this draft class. So, like I said, we're all over the place here with quarterbacks in the rankings after Trevor Lawrence. I think when you look at it, it's fascinating to see. Do they take Mac Jones? Do they take Trey Lance? That's been the debate all along. Where's it end up?
Hilder, I know you've had some concerns about Mac Jones throughout the process.
Yeah, from an athletic ability standpoint, Mac Jones doesn't offer everything that Trey Lance does. When you can have the best of both worlds, when you can have a guy that can throw the football down the field and complete passes, all also with that athletic ability, that's what Mac Jones doesn't bring. Because inevitably, Greeny, defenses have been playing 11 on 10 over the years. Now can you make it 11 on 11? Simple bootleg. This is a part of the play action offense. Can the quarterback get outside? Do you have enough foot speed? That we see Mac Jones didn't. Now that's a dead play. When they bring pressure coming up front, the running back picks up. Now, if you're Mac Jones, your offensive line can't block on every play. Can you get out? Can you get those 3 yards that the defense is going to give up? That's what you're missing when you draft Mac Jones. I hear you with the processor. I hear you with the 78 completion percentage. But at some point, the NFL is giving away 3 yards to the quarterback who's athletic, and Mac Jones doesn't provide that. Yeah, look, he doesn't try to. What he does provide.
Little buddy was fussing, so I had to go hang out with the little bud for a sec. Actually, I should put that on.
That's where Trey Lance comes into play here. On top of the fact that everyone at North Dakota State will tell you this. Oh, but guess what? He processes better, if not as well, if not better than anyone in this draft class. And he's still learning. He has quite the highest ceiling. I know coaches will say he may have the most skill. He may be the biggest boom or bust here. But I think that's what you're paid to do. You're paid to make sure that he booms and doesn't bust. And you know what? I would bet my money on Trey Lance. Because this guy is wired like say a bad thing about him. And he is going to be a superstar.
If the pick is Lance, Mel, it will be one of the great stories in the history of the draft. Yes, I agree. The most fascinating player in any position I've ever played. You think about game management skills, only 1 interception over 17 starts. You think about his smart, how cerebral he is. You think about everything about his physical. And you need a bridge. You need to sit right there, Trey Lance. And the bridge could be Jimmy Garoppolo. This is the moment that all of us who host talk shows and football fans across the country have been waiting for 6 weeks. Roger Goodell has declared.
Okay, here we go.
The 49ers have made their decision. Will it be Mac Jones? Will it be Trey Lance? We've waited all this time, and now finally, we will find out. Here comes the commissioner with pick number 3.
Hope they pick a long snapper.
In the 2021 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Trey Lance.
I can't believe they did it. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Who started 17 college football games at the FCS level, is in tears as he walks from the green room and walks from Fargo, North Dakota, into the center of the football universe as the 3rd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Louis Riddick, you're clapping. Why?
You feel good for the young man. You feel good. Think about his story coming out of high school. Not a single FBS school would offer him to play quarterback. They tried to get him to switch positions, whether it be linebacker, safety, every other position, and he was like, "Nope."
Thank you very much, homie, for the kind words. Go take care of your wife. You know, I should be taking care of mine, but I'm stupid enough to be streaming online and watching the NFL draft. But thank you very much for stopping by, brother.
He's not just a good football player. He's a good person. And that right there makes you want to stand up and cheer.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. Louis, show everybody how good he is.
Look, he's a guy who can win with both his leg and with his arm. Obviously, accuracy is something he's going to need to continue to work on. But when you think of Kyle Shanahan's offense, as far as it being a run-centric, play-action, pass type of offense, he is going to thrive. Okay, here you see it. Now you see right here the ability to create, the ability to move left, go back right, and just flick the football down the field 25, 30 yards. Here again, that play-action fake out of the gun. And then launch a post route down the field and just put it over the outside shoulder. Here again, the half roll. The post down the middle of the field again, just putting it right where the wide receiver can just catch it perfectly. Here again, the slot fade that you see down the red area. You see offenses running in the NFL over and over and over again. And then the design quarterback run, the quarterback power, the quarterback counter, the quarterback draw. And he's not trying to just get a couple yards and hit the dirt. No, you see him right here. He's tipping his shoulder and he's running fulls over. He will embarrass you. So defensive backs, when number 5 gets on the field, be ready. He's not trying to run out of bounds. He's trying to embarrass you. What a perfect fit for this young man. And to your point, it fits so well. All the quarterbacks we're talking about, you know which quarterback played the most plays under center in their college career? Trey Lance. Who likes to run the football from under center? Kyle Shanahan. It's a perfect marriage with the run game, how they want to do. Get him outside on the edge. And we always said, whichever quarterback went to San Francisco Mill, regardless of who it is,
That's true. That's true. Drinking a good beer, too.
Even better than Trevor Lawrence.
A little bit of black lager.
And based on how Kyle Shanahan's offense sets the quarterback, you think about Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan. Yes, the influence he had. And you think about dual threat quarterbacks. John Elway beat you with his leg. Yes. An athlete. Great arm strength coming out of Stanford. You had Steve Young. Same type of thing. And now you have Trey.
There you go, brother. Let's see what happens. We're almost there. Man, if Kyle Pitts could fall, I don't think he's going to. This is the big one here. If Falcons don't take Pitts, I think the Dolphins get Pitts. But if they take Pitts, it's between Chase and Waddle. I'm cool with either, but I would love. I mean, I think Chase and Pitts are in their own level, and I think Waddle and is just below that.
Really emotional. Just like I said, just super thankful for everyone in the green room with me and everyone having me to this point. Just very blessed to be here.
You know, from the time that the Niners made that massive trade up to number 3, I think a lot of people talked about Matt Jones. What happened over the last couple of weeks? What were the connections like and the interactions?
I mean, it was super exciting. Like I said, I'm super excited to be part of the organization. For me and Matt, we're good friends now. We got to know each other. And I'm super
I know, right, dude?
And he's going to end up right where he's supposed to.
It could happen, man. It really depends on what Falcons do, because I honestly think, I really do think the Bengals are going to take a tackle. I don't know if it's going to be Slater or the other dude, but it really comes down because it's really hard to think about what the Falcons are going to do here because you hear the rumors about them kind of shopping Julio Jones. Are they shopping Julio Jones because they want to do a reset, or are they shopping Julio Jones because they know they can get a really good pass catcher at number 4? That's the weird part about it. So we'll see.
And then it happened far more recently. Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, and Achilles Smith in 1999. And so the big question becomes now, will we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 tonight? Which is something that would be unprecedented. But before I get to the Falcons, very quickly, I just want to ask you, Booger. There was a lot of talk today on Twitter, Adam Schefter and others tweeting about the possibilities of the 49ers trading Jimmy Garoppolo. Now that they've taken Trey Lance, do you believe they must keep Garoppolo for the season?
They've got to keep Jimmy Garoppolo because Trey Lance is not ready to play from day one. And Kyle Shanahan basically told us, Jimmy gives us the best chance to win right now, regardless. And when you add Trey Lance, he has to improve on his accuracy. He will be ready at some point, but I expect Jimmy Garoppolo to be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers starting this season.
Okay, so now let us set the stage. I told you 3 and 4 were going to decide a lot of things. Let's explain how 4 will do that. The Falcons on the clock. It seems they have 3 options. One of them would be to trade out. It does not appear they've done that, as the pick is already in. The other option
shit. It's Pitts. It's got to be Pitts. There's no way they're going to run it back. It's Matt Ryan's not that old. What is he, 35, 36? But, 35, 36 for a quarterback now is like 28.
I'm trying to get out of there. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
and I'm trying to build this team long term. I don't know what quarterback they had earmarked as maybe being the guy that would force them to pick a quarterback at this spot. We're going to find out right now whether it was Trey Lance or whether it was Justin Fields or if it was Mac Jones. We'll find out.
I see the commissioner is beginning to make his walk out onto the stage, and we will follow him again. The big question here is, will we have history made? If he reads the name of one of the quarterbacks right now, it will be the first time in the history of the National Football League draft that quarterbacks go 1.
I mean, it's got to be, if they pick a quarterback, it's got to be Justin Fields. It's got to be. But they're not. They're not.
Out of the chair, and Roger Goodell is getting ready to read the pick. Here we go for Atlanta at number 4. Here's the commissioner.
With the 4th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. I mean, that was going to be the selection, and that's what happens when you when you trade out of that third spot, listen, if we get Chase or Waddle, I'm fine with it. We have Gesicki. He's a great quarterback or tight end. But that's what you do. You know what I mean? You don't get that guy. You don't get that guy when you trade back. That's the risk you take.
See this release? Now he's even. Now, although the corner played it well, what he can do is he can win those 50-50 balls down the field. And you see Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders.
I remember this play. I remember this play from last season. Smoked them. Yeah, bummer. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, you know, it is what it is. So you have Chase, Waddle, and Devonta Smith. That's you're gonna get one of those three. One of those three. You have your choice of two of those three. Let's put it that way. That makes more sense. So we'll see. So, and I think Gesicki's a really good. Like he played really well until he landed on his neck. At like what was it? Like week 12, week 14, or whatever. He was starting to come in his own. So I'm fine with that. And now if you get, I'm great with any of the remaining pass catchers here. I'm actually if the Bengals go linemen here, I'm actually still on board with the Dolphins trading back again and gaining some draft capital, especially if somebody's really, really thirsty for a quarterback. So we'll see what happens.
It's amazing the juxtaposition between organizations. One didn't support the veteran quarterback, but now Atlanta is supporting Matt Ryan with Kyle Pitts. And your wonder bug had Trey Lance been there, the decision would have been. That would have been really intriguing, but Trey Lance is gone. I will say this: when you look at Kyle Pitts, you think about Darren Waller, one wide receiver, Georgia Tech, right?
Raul says it's like Waddle for the Fins. It's almost guaranteed at this point. But if the Bengals go lineman, which they kind of need that. They need that. I mean, look at fucking Burrow's knee. If they go offensive lineman, then it's Chase. If it's not Chase, then it's Waddle. That's basically how it comes down to. I think the Bengals go see well here. I hope they do, because then we get Chase. But I actually didn't think it's going to be Chase. I think you're going to pick Chase because you're getting basically your quarterback's favorite guy. So we'll see. How your guy is going to dominate is when they put the mic up as high as they can and he still has to lean down and he has like a lower octave voice. That's how you know he's going to be like a monster.
I hope to accomplish a lot. I have a lot of goals that I want to reach, and I think through time, strength, and just mental, I think I'll reach it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Susie. What a beautiful moment that is. Again, we're off to a fast start. The quarterbacks went 1, 2, and 3 as expected. There are still 2 more waiting to hear their names called. And 20 more. We're just getting started.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Pitts was the dream. You're not going to get him. Such is life. But listen, every team in the NFL right now is envious of the Dolphins in their position. Not just from a stock capital, but poised position. You know what I mean? I'm not to say that doesn't equate to Super Bowl wins, but as far as team makeup, coaches, everything that's done right now, we're in a very positive and envious position. I'm not going to sit here and cry over getting Sewell because that's still in the cards. An offensive Sewell, Chase, Waddle, or Devontae. That sucks. one of those four, it's got to be the worst ever.
Let's raise all the kitchen heroes. Also, let's raise some cervezas and celebrate all those who lifted us up this year.
What do we drink next? Actually, I know exactly what we're going to drink next. I am pumped to drink this, actually. Throw that there. Get a little cold bag going on. This beer I have not had in a very, very long time. This is Lost Nation. It's their Mosaic IPA. It's very small. It's 5.5. The last time I had this, I believe, was at the brewery when I visited there, which was probably, 3 years or so ago, and it was quite delicious. The last time I talked about this beer on my channel was when I reviewed it, and I believe it was off. I didn't go back and watch a review, but I think there was something a little off about it. If we could get this beer, we could get this kind of in my area back then. We're talking about 4 or 5 years ago. I have not seen it since. I have not seen this beer on a shelf in the tri-state area for years. And lo and behold, I go to a bottle shop today and I see it. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, how old is this? And I look at the bottom of the can, and this is canned less than a month ago. Oh, 4/1 on there. So I'm actually, Kevin actually saying they get it regular. We haven't got this down here in years, so I'm kind of curious to see how it drinks. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to expect the best from it, but I'm excited. Let's put it that way. Sneaky, awesome spot to drink beer and eat food at up there. So Lost Nation is probably about 20 minutes north of Stowe. So, Stowe is Alchemist, all that kind of stuff. So it's close to, Lawson's. It's close to Alchemist. It's close to Von Trapp. It's close. It's right down the street from Ten Bends. It's really close to Hill Farmstead, about 40 minutes away. It's kind of in that cool little area, and their food, every time I've eaten there, I've only eaten there 2 or 3 times. All the food is very fantastic. Cool little tap room, kind of on the edge of town. So, yeah. And he says, definitely a solid go-to, says Kevin. So. Yeah, it's good. So I don't light the world on fire. It's not the Mount Rushmore best sub 6% hazy I've ever had, but it's damn tasty. Let's put it that way. Something about offensive linemen opting out scares me. They're just eating hamburgers and not working. The one thing, and I don't know, I don't know enough about this because I don't actually research it, but because I'm not an NFL analyst, but this is I guess most of the podcasts I've listened to, this offensive line class in the NFL, not necessarily a bad class, but it's the shortest armed class in the history of the NFL. Short arms is the bane of existence when it comes on tackles, at least. So we'll see.
The Cincinnati Bengals select Jamar Chase.
Yeah, fuckers. See what it is.
He's a terrific player. Let's start with that. Before we understand your feelings, many people will feel
Actually, I'm now glad we didn't get Jamar Chase. And the reason why I'm saying that is because he actually told everybody how to stand and how to congratulate him when he was picked. And I think that's a bad sign. He was like, okay, everybody line up in a line. And when you line up in a line and they call my name, then you need to congratulate me. That's forced and contrived shit. So I don't like that.
Look at the separation on the inside slant route against Sertan. So you have the speed, now you have the route running abilities. But the thing that I love is the competitiveness. When the ball is in the air, it can be the offensive line
defenders here. Give me that ball. That's my ball. Do everything you want in a number one receiver. It's an interesting point. You can question the decision, but you don't question the player under any circumstances. Mel, last year, many people thought that was the best top of the receiver class we had ever seen. If Jamar Chase had been in that class, where would he have been up there?
Now I'm curious to see what happens. So we have Matthew Meteor saying, tried out Tavor. I'm drinking Derivative by I actually really enjoy that beer. Proclamation brewing is really tasty, and Derivative is quite nice. Carson Devontae time. No, man, I think it's Waddle time. I don't think they're going to go offensive tackle. I think our offensive line is actually quite underrated. It's young. It played really well. It came together. I think the picks that we got that center from the Ravens, I believe it was. And I think our offensive line is good enough. And the offensive line, while I think the pass catching top of the draft drops off much more dramatically than the offensive line portion of the show. So I think we can get a really fucking amazing offensive lineman in the second round, not even first round. We still have another first round pick. So I think we can get something better. So I think it's going to be Waddle.
Lewis, speaking of Jamar Chase, who does he remind you of? The way he plays, he reminds me of A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans. Now, A.J. Brown is 25 pounds heavier. Jamar Chase is 210.
Tackle this high, though. Tackle's typically a top 3 pick, but these tackles are not that good. Let me walk that back. It's not that tackles aren't that good this year. Their arms are mad short. So for those that don't know, offensive tackle, pretty much the cutoff. The cutoff for it's Waddle, by the way. Someone just texted me. I'm behind, but the cutoff is 34 inches. I think it is. Is it 34 to 36 inch arm length? And every single tackle, single elite offensive lineman is under that threshold. That's not you want them to have 34 or 36 inches. It needs to be over that. It's just not there. So the offensive lineman in this draft, while there's depth to be found, the top end isn't as elite. So it's Waddles. Like I said, I got a spoiler alert from somebody that let me know. So there you go. We'll waddle up in this piece.
This has been Jamar Chase's dream since he was 8 years old. What's it like to be on this stage?
It's a blessing coming true, being out here with my family, having this great experience. But, for the most part, I can't wait to get to work with Joe and back at the Bengals and the staff, so I'm ready to work.
All right, so now you're reunited with Joe Burrow, such amazing production. What do you need to do to be able to reach that type of production at the next level?
Yeah, I need to keep the same mindset I always have, keep working, keep being competitive, and I think that'll take me a long way. Stay on the right road.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, you mentioned the partnership with Joe Burrow. They become the first teammates in the common draft era that were quarterback wide receiver from the same school that both got drafted in the top 10. And you see on your screen why that is. In their 26 games together, they were remarkably productive. Now, while we were doing that, the Dolphins have already made their pick. And so quickly now, the Dolphins at 6, they were active here. They went from 3 to 12, back up to 6. They had their eye clearly on someone. Who do we think that is?
I think it's the help out the quarterback, too. And I thought Kyle Pitts would have been interesting had he been there for the Bengals. They've been there for the Dolphins. Now you have Kenny Sewell, who helped out that offensive line, back with Morgan. And you have Tua reunited with Devonta Smith or Jaylen Waddle. You got Burrow with Chase. It works out perfectly for Brian Flores to get the weapon. At 12, we wouldn't have got him. At 6, he's guaranteed. Is it Devonta? Is it Jaylen Waddle? Both great players. I'm a Devonta Smith guy. He's my number 1 wide receiver in this draft.
Well, I'm going wide receiver. They took 2 offensive linemen, Jackson and Hunt. I think you go Jaylen Waddle, the more explosive wide receiver, united with Tua. You got to give him somebody who can take this short pass and turn it into the home run. You go over the middle, somebody who can catch and run. All right, so again, the Dolphins had the 3rd pick in the draft. They traded back to 12. They traded back up to 6, looking for help somewhere for a team that feels maybe on the verge of
challenging Buffalo in that AFC East, and maybe not that far away from being a real contender in the AFC. Let's see who they have. The 6th pick is in, and the commissioner is here.
With the 6th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jaylen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama.
You see the fans like it. The Dolphin fans like it. I'm going to give them another reason to. This is my favorite draft of the draft. Willis, Jaylen Waddle scored 17
it's not that like it's not that I'm way behind Carson. I have a friend that actually works in the NFL, so he told me it was Waddle. That's why I assumed it was Waddle, because he told me it was Waddle. It wasn't like I was behind on it, but typically when he sends me a message, if he sends me a message about picks, it's always right. So he's kind of like, he works in the NFL, so he's like, yeah. He's like, Waddle it is. And I was like, okay. So I should clarify that.
Exactly like what Andy Reid tried to do with Tyreek Hill. Just run a little slant over the middle in the 3-by-1 set and then watch. He's an angle destroyer. He's just going to absolutely run away from everyone else, and no one can catch him. Tyreek Hill, just give him the ball in a quick slant pass. He's going to give it to him. He's going to get the 3 safeties trying to come downhill. You take the wrong angle and you miss, and that's what he does. He puts up 2 fingers and says, dudes, I'm out of here. I'm going to win this one. Here, again, the ability to stretch the field. You see him here. He could have ran the slot fade. He could just here. He's just going to take off down the field towards the goal post. You just can't match up with him, especially if you're an inside coverage player, and in particular if you're a safety. Tyreek Hill. You see him here again. I believe they call this circle post in Kansas City. It's all Philadelphia terminology. Fake like you're going to the corner, go to the punch, and you just outrun defenders. And that's what this guy can do. But the one thing
Yeah, not a surprise, but we're happy with it, and that's the most important part. Happy. I think Waddle as a player, like as a person, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm really intrigued about the 18th pick. See what happens. We could trade up and go like balls in for, something crazy. We could sit back. We could trade back. We'll see.
And you get the wide receiver. So now you can start to build an offense. And we got to see, is Tua going to be the guy? He struggled toward the end of last season. Can he, now that he has weapons, can he continue to take that next step? He's got a tight end and Mike Gesicki. Now you have an explosive wide receiver in Jaylen Waddle.
How about better field position with a great punt returner? I mean, 24-yard average per punt returner. Catching touchdown reception. Spectacular player. You think about this past year, what he was able to do before he fractured that ankle. October 24th, when an opening kickoff return against Tennessee, produced 120 or more receiving yards in each of those first 4
Look at that speed. God damn. He ain't fucking around when it comes to that speed, I'll tell you that much.
6 touchdown catches. Then came the injury, right? October 24th. Then you watch him here. Look at that. That is explosiveness. That is uncoverable right there. So then he came back and he played in the national championship game. He limped, but he caught 3 passes in that game, one of which was on 3rd down, a key reception. These guys, Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, they challenge each other. They challenge each other on the bench during games. Then they come to the sideline. These two pushed each other to be better. The fact that he went out there and even played in that game, knowing his career is on the line. It's going to be a high first-round pick. If you go out there for your team and you play and you gut it out, limping around and contribute, look at him there. He gets a face mask, and here he is, coast to coast again, on a great punt return for a touchdown against some pretty good athletes on that coverage unit, folks.
Yeah, I hear you. He's a special player. If he doesn't get hurt last year, maybe he's the one in the Heisman conversation. We'll see. Meanwhile, down to the stage, Snickers takes us to Susie, who's standing by with Jaylen Waddle.
The last time we saw Jaylen Waddle, he was toughing it out, limping in the national title game. They're sure to look good walking on this stage tonight. What was it like when you got that call?
Man, it was a dream come true. I think all the hard work that came into making this moment special just came into remembrance. So just getting that call, it just meant everything.
What are the skills you can't wait to show off to Dolphins fans?
Playmaking ability. I think that's a key reason why they drafted me, to help out and try to make plays. So I'm going to do my best to try to showcase.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You see the moment there when he was drafted backstage, friends and family that are here to celebrate every now and again. That good reminder that not only are we seeing the fortunes of every team in the National Football League rising and falling tonight, but we are seeing the wildest dreams of 32 young men and their families coming true right before our eyes. It's a wonderful reminder of that. So, moving fast and furious, and on we go now to the Detroit Lions, who sit at number 7 and have already made their pick. So, this is a new regime, Lewis, a lot of different options there in Detroit, a lot of things they potentially could use. They make a big trade with the quarterback, so Jared Goff is now there. If you are running the Detroit Lions right now, what direction are you thinking?
Well, obviously, I'm trying to get value here. They could use some people on the defensive side of football as far as pass rushers and corners. Value doesn't match up there. On the offensive side, you've invested in the offensive line already. You gave Taylor Decker recently a contract extension. You have one of the best centers in the league, and Frank Ragnow. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
you need some pass catchers. No Marvin Jones, no Kenny Galladay anymore.
I understand that like Chase and Pitts have like jump ball ability and like a little bit bigger frames, so it comes off a little bit more kind of electric when you talk about like highlights and stuff like that. But you know, Bottle, maybe it's just me trying to talk myself into the pick. The dude just catches the ball and scores touchdowns. He's like Chris Carter or Tyreek Hill. You know, it's just like, oh, he didn't jump up and grab the ball in midair when he was getting tackled. No, he just grabbed the ball and went all the way for a touchdown every time he touched the ball. You know, it's like that kind of thing. It's like, which one do you want? Curious. I mean, it's got to be Swell right here. It's got to be.
The Lions fan is in the easy chair that came from Rogers' basement in suburban New York, and now Roger Goodell up to the podium to announce the 7th pick in the draft.
That or like something dumb like Micah Parsons or something like that.
With the 7th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Penei Sewell.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of chalk. So it is what it is. Enjoy your career in Detroit, buddy. You make some money, but
the first Polynesian player ever to win that award, unanimous first team All-American. Let's take a look, Mel. What makes Penei Sewell so good?
I thought with another year, Green, he could have been in that Ogden Pace Baselli category. You think of that in 2019, no sacks allowed. Left 2 hits on the quarterback. 2018 as a true freshman, no penalties, and he did have an injury at a high ankle sprain, missed 6 football games. Now his hand placement could use some tweaking. His stretch motion could improve as a pass blocker, make a little better overall in terms of the National Football League. Another year at Oregon, I think, would have cemented him as a guaranteed top 3 to 5 pick. The fact that he was there at 7, Carolina, you got to believe, had to be a little disappointed. I talked about that. Sewell would have been perfect at that left tackle, but there's a kid named Slater, a Northwestern Wildcat, Rashawn Slayer, who's still available, who is equally as good potentially as Penei Sewell. But Penei Sewell, one of those knockdowns who really, I think, still great to see him go to top 10, but the best is yet to come once he gets more experience.
You know, Mel, we shouldn't be surprised by this pick. Dan Campbell said he wanted to bite knees and bite toes and knock off elbows and all that. So this fits from a physicality standpoint what they want to do. And really during the process, when I was talking to different scouts and head coaches, they said simply, if you could count on one guy being a Hall of Famer, who would it be? It's Penei Sewell. So for the Lions to get what some people think is a potential Hall of Famer at this pick and can bolster their offensive line, now they can be the physical football team that their head coach wants to be.
That's a season appropriate start for this new Detroit Lions organization. And the salute to service is presented by USAA.
A little bit of carton boat. Drinking those session beers. You guys do that during the draft or any kind of session. So. Where are we at now? Pick 8. Probably go to 12. That was my guess. Is we go to 12. I'd love to say to pick 18 so we could see what the Dolphins would do, but we'll see what's what. How far will Devonta fall? Oh, man. Eagles? I know the Eagles need help on defense and in quarterback. I'm thinking, what do we have? So we have the Panthers.
No, I'm good, babe.
Can I get a quarter pounder with cheese? Make that too. Thank you. Hey, but I thought you said
But you got two.
I don't think he's going to go to the Panthers. I don't think he's going to go to the Broncos. I don't think he's going to go to Dallas. It's got to be Eagles, right?
Gets our best deals on all smartphones.
It's the Eagles.
You got your new customers. They get our best.
It's got to be the
You got your
Eagles.
existing
If
customers,
the
they all get our
Panthers
best
don't pick
deals.
him, and I don't think they will,
Everyone
I think
gets
they'll
the deals.
go
Question.
offensive line.
Why did you use your
And then you have the Broncos going quarterback. You have the Dallas Cowboys going cornerback. You have the New York Giants doing something dumb, like fucking, again, Micah Parsons. And then you have the Eagles doing Devontae. Now, there is, Dallas Cowboys, you have Surtain or Horn. That could also be the Eagles, too. They might go defensive there.
This pick is a real game changer.
I could see the Chargers trading up for a tackle.
It's time.
There might be a trade up soon, too.
To be buttoned up.
I can't believe the fucking Patriots are going to get fucking Justin Fields. I can't fucking believe that's going to fucking happen. Please, somebody jump up and take a quarterback so they don't fucking get it. God damn it.
These days,
Fucking hate
you have
them.
to keep everything moving and reinvent the wheel.
Huge increase in orders.
With a hybrid, I think we can handle that. You can do both. I'll be right in. That's why manufacturers are going hybrid with IBM. With Watson on a hybrid cloud, factories can use AI to automate the little things so they can focus on the next big thing. Businesses that want to
Into secondness role. How far will Devontae fall? Hopefully he falls 18. I'll take another wide receiver. I'll take all the wide receivers.
I really appreciate
No.
the price on my insurance, Jake, from State Farm.
Here's the deal, Patrick. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Let me repay the favor with some field passes. Come on.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome to your wildest cravings come true, where the abundance of a Chalupa Cravings box is only $5. Savor this moment of pure Taco Bell bliss because it won't last forever. It's value beyond belief.
it happens every 4. Scratch that.
We'll see. Anyway, drinking a little bit of Carton Boat, 4.2%. New Jersey Hazy Bittering Pale. I will drink this beer to the day I die. Love it. 4%. Huge impact. Probably one of the bigger impact per ABV IPAs on the market. Be perfectly honest with you.
This is the 2021
Okay.
NFL Draft, presented by Courtyard by Merrill.
Wednesday night, May 12th on ESPN2. Don't miss a SportsCenter special, the 2021 NFL schedule release. The top matchups, the great rivalry games, the Monday Night Football schedule, and much more. That's coming up Wednesday, May 12th on ESPN2. And we don't have much time to tell you much more right now because the Carolina Panthers have made their pick, and Roger Goodell is making his way to the podium to announce it right now.
With the 8th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft,
It's a big pick.
the Carolina Panthers select J.C. Horn.
Holy shit. Okay. I think he's better than listen, Patrick Surtain is one of my favorite Dolphins players in the history of mankind. And I think he's going to be an amazing NFL player, but I think J.C. Horn, the size.
Joe Horn, heck of a player at South Carolina. They won all defense last year. They're obviously committed to this defensive side of the ball. But you're not helping out Sam, but you got a good football player, a really good player, and J.C. Horn.
Look how big that dude is.
In your face with great
Patrick Sherman type stuff.
And a one-on-one situations, he was outstanding in coverage. That man coverage.
That beer is fantastic, brother.
In the SEC, think about Kyle Pitts. Think what he did against some quality guys who you would think could get the best of them. They never did. He was as consistent in coverage as any quarterback. I moved him ahead of Patrick Surtain II for that reason. A little bit better in coverage, and he'll tackle. He's a complete corner. I, though, would have helped Sam Darnold and gotten the left tackle in Slater or a great receiver in Devonta Smith.
Agreed. His dad was Joe Horn. He was a 5th-round pick in '96. He made 4 Pro Bowls. Now his son is a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. J.C. Horn goes number 8 to Carolina.
See, that kind of shakes everything up now. So the Cowboys are absolutely 100% taking Surtain if he drops that far. Yeah, that's the first like curveball of the draft. That's the first curveball of the draft, without a doubt. So now you have the Broncos. Are they going to take a quarterback? Wilson, Fields? Who knows? They should. My guess is they take Wilson because John Elway's a white guy. And then you have Dallas taking Surtain. You have the Giants taking Micah Parsons. And you have the Eagles taking Devonta Smith. Chargers taking offensive line help. Vikings taking defensive help. Patriots taking Justin Fields.
You deserve it. Buy one, get one for $1. Your way, way better.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. The house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster. An insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
Devonta saves you money. Hi, I'm Phil from Progressive. Super fun beach day, everybody. Shh. Before, they would have heard me taking the car.
Before, I didn't have an app that showed me when she was taking the car.
I like this draft. I mean, sure. I would love picks. But I'm kind of excited for Waddle over Chase. I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe it's just me, my homerism, trying to talk myself into this stuff, but I don't know. Let's see, Chase. I didn't like the way he kind of orchestrated his kind of like celebration. Like that was very forced.
We're delivering for the earth. By investing in more
I think Horn's going to be a goddamn good cornerback, man. I think he was a sneaky, like, good. Like, I think Horn was going to be like the guy who everybody kind of he slipped to the late end and someone picked him and it was going to be awesome. So, yeah. So, listen, we're at pick number 9. We have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to make it to 18. I don't know if I'm going to make it to 18 for the Dolphins, but I committed to 12. We're going to be here till 12. We're here till the Eagles pick, and we'll go from there. Raul talking about Horn. Carson saying agree there. So we'll see what happens.
That's what's going to allow you to put your own stamp on it.
So now you're cracking that coffee stout from Southern Swells. Now I want a big stout.
We are back in Cleveland. Time now to look at Mel.
After this, finish his boat first.
Good players still on the board. Obviously, great players on the board. Devonta Smith is the 3rd best player in this draft. Rashawn Slayer right there with 10 ace soul. Justin Fields is my 2nd highest rated quarterback.
You're drinking Bourbon County 2017, brother. You're not making the rest of the draft, is what I'm saying. Maybe you will, but yeah. As Carson's saying, I'm done for the night. He's not saying he's done for the night. He's saying that beer is making him done for the night. It's kind of how Bourbon County rolls, so we'll see what happens.
He would have been a guaranteed top 5 to 7 pick.
Well, so Mac Jones is here, and he is still waiting in the green room. So much speculation. Would he go with 3? He did not, and so he waits for the call. And so
Matt Jones looks like a agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the Avengers that gets murdered early. That's what he looks like.
Can we imagine that the phones are busy in places like Foxborough, Chicago, and others?
I would imagine so. I would imagine those guys was trying to lay the groundwork, if not being on the phone already right now, to see if they could go ahead and move into this spot or some spot subsequent to this spot. Like we've already earmarked the 10th.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. Like, the Broncos are picking. After the Broncos picked, Dallas isn't moving back. Giants don't move back ever. The Eagles, if they move back, their fan base would kill them. The Chargers need offensive line help. Maybe the Vikings move back. But other than that, like, if a quarterback doesn't go, if 2 quarterbacks, no, the Patriots are getting a quarterback unless somebody trades up. Let's put it that way.
So I'm going to say the sliding quarterbacks, so they're getting into that range now where they do become great value. And I think, too, Bill Belichick. Now it's Mac Jones. Who did I comp to Mac Jones back in August? And, hey, if he can develop like he showed at the end of 2019, he's a young Tom, not what Tom Brady is as the greatest of all time, but a young Tom Brady coming out of Michigan. And Tom was passed over by a lot of quarterbacks. But he was a 6th-round pick. Now you got Mac Jones sitting there with that same type of skill set. Pocket guy, the way he maneuvers the pocket, works the pocket, a lot like Tom Brady.
Booker, give me one team that needs to be on the phone right now trying to make a trade.
The Washington football team, just to go along with the other 2 that Lewis talked about with New England and also Chicago. Really, any team that needs a quarterback, you got your choice. You want the guy that can sit back in the pocket and complete 77% of his passes, or do you want the best of both worlds, the dual threat quarterback, the guy that feels at 6'3" and 230 and ran 4.
Man, I hate Booker.
And the Broncos do not appear to have made a trade. The pick is in, and I can see the commissioner working his way up. They are another team.
I hope they go Justin Fields. Justin Fields deserves to go top 10. He deserves to be the 2nd quarterback in the fucking draft. But I don't think they're going to do it. They're going to go They're going to do something else.
In the NFL have made their selection, and here comes the commissioner with the announcement.
With the 9th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Pat Surtain Jr., defensive back,
Fine.
Alabama.
On the night where we wondered if defensive players would ever get picked at all, we have a run on corners in the top 10. Dad was a 2nd rounder in 98, and now his son goes number 9. Well, Patrick Surtain is spectacular.
Discuss. Is Booger the worst announcer on TV right now? The answer is yes. No, he's not the worst. I don't think he's the worst. Because there's a lot worse. You know what I mean? There's like, I can't think of one right now. But there's a bunch of like other sports that exist. He's just not good. You know? He just doesn't, he played the game and he wants to be an announcer, but he just doesn't have the knack to do it. So it's frustrating. You know, it is what it is. So now we have a cornerback. So there's no cornerbacks left. So now Dallas, there's one, I think the other cornerback that's like out there, but now they're kind of like offensive linemen, maybe? No, quarterback. No. I could see Dallas going quarterback just to be like weird Dallas, like Jerry Jones, like crazy. They're definitely not going wide receiver, I can tell you that. But if they do, that would be fucking epic, fantastic. What else on defense, man? Oh, man. Way to go, Broncos, for fucking everything up.
Outside the numbers in particular, they were woeful last year. There's a reason why Vic said I want Kyle Fuller. Kyle Fuller is one of the best off pattern reading zone corners in the entire NFL. And Patrick Surtain will now have a chance to learn from him, playing a scheme that's going to be very similar to the kind of things that he was taught at Alabama. Yeah. So here, it's a fit, it's a need. Maybe he reached down. Maybe they could have adjusted some other positions, but you got to understand the DNA of this head coach.
If Dallas picks quarterback right now, I'm going to fucking go ballistic in the most perfectly fantastical, awesome way possible. I want them to do that.
The questions have been all about the quarterbacks here as we're waiting. Susie will interview.
Somebody's got to trade up right now. Somebody has to trade up right now.
On the board here at number 10, two of them. So you wonder, you had identified at one point.
Eagles won't trade back. Chargers won't trade back. Somebody has to trade up right now. Either Dallas or New York. One of those picks is going to be a trade back. It has to be. Because they'll get their guy later in the draft, no matter what they want to do. It doesn't make any sense. It's going to come in. We'll see. Yeah, somebody's trading up.
You can't just be decent to good at quarterback. You got to be really good. Who's got the most upside of any of these quarterbacks after Trevor Lawrence? To me, it's Justin Fields. Justin Fields, what did he do wrong at Ohio State? He lost 2 football games. The 2 games everybody critiques him on, the Northwestern game and the Indiana game, he didn't lose. Okay, and he won 100% of the Northwestern game. I didn't have Chris Olave. So for me, Justin Fields is going to be a steal coming off the board at some point within the next few picks.
Meanwhile, Snickers takes us back down to the stage, and Susie, who is with Patrick Surtain.
The Surtain legacy continues in the NFL, along with your dad, who was a great corner in his own right. You two have been working at this since you were 5 years old. What do you want to say to Dad right now?
Man, I just want to say, I'll tell him thank you for everything he's done for me. Just for raising me to be the young man I am today. Just getting football lessons from him every day. I'm just thankful for him.
An NFL talent evaluator told me that you were the most humble, unentitled star that he had ever met. What is it about that approach that has really impacted your game?
Oh, man. Just being out here, just staying myself, staying humble,
Surtain, but we have a trade, gentlemen.
There it is.
Run through the NFC East.
The Eagles. They jumped up for fucking Devonta Smith. Really? 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 The Eagles are stupid. The Eagles are the dumbest fucking. Really? Really?
Everyone last year by taking a quarterback, Jalen Hurts, in the second round at a time when we did not think they needed one. They had Carson Wentz. Now here we are.
I can't believe they traded up for Devonta Smith. I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe that they just did that. Fucking dumbasses. They would have got him.
Just because of the Giants in the division, figure, boy, that would be a nice addition for Daniel Jones to get a Devonta Smith along with Kenny Golladay. On the Eagles, I went down from 6 to 12, right? I took myself out entirely of getting one of the elite receivers, which is what they desperately needed. Remember, they didn't take Justin Jefferson last year. They go Jalen Reagor. Hasn't worked out great yet. Hopefully, Reagor improves in year 2. If I'm going up from 12 to 10 and I'm going ahead of the Giants, I got to get Devonta Smith. To me, he's the 3rd best player in this draft.
It makes total sense that they need more weaponry on the outside. They need someone who really has.
It's not a matter of trading up for him, because I think trading up for Devonta Smith makes sense. It's just that you didn't have to do it. No one was going to take him. You had Dallas, no. New York, no. They just fucking literally just paid Kenny Golladay a bunch of money, and they have a bunch of wide receivers. Doesn't make any sense. And Dallas trade with him. Who the fuck is going to trade with you in your own division unless they're laughing at you?
Well, just to add to that, the owner came out, Jeff Lenore, simply said, hey, we're all in on Jalen Hurts this year. We're going to support him. So this picking a wide receiver makes sense. But if they didn't go wide receiver,
the Eagles linebackers are terrible. And they might have a chance to get the best, I think, the best defensive player in this draft, like Michael Parsons.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's not receiver.
Right. Let's face it, Micah Parsons would have played this year and equaled what he did in 2019. Right. And with that 4.39 speed at 246 pounds, you would have been talking top 5 to 7.
Which would be interesting considering the fact that I don't believe in Jeffrey Miller's tenure as far as owning his football team. They've ever drafted a linebacker in the first round.
And it shows.
Ever. Yes, because I just think from a team building philosophical standpoint, they don't believe in investing in that position in that way. Now, I'm not saying I agree. Right. I'm saying that has never been their MO. This is very much so an offensive-driven football.
Yeah, there are 2 players that could help the Giants, who is their rival right there in the division. It would be Devonta Smith and Micah Parsons.
Exactly.
There's one thing I didn't think we would see. It would be the Eagles and the Cowboys making a trade. I'm getting the details on the trade from our producer, Brian Ryder, right now. Go ahead, Raj. But the details on the trade are as follows. Oh, here we go. It's the 10th overall pick. The Cowboys get a 3rd-round pick this year. So that will be tomorrow night. Dallas will pick up the 3 in this deal. And Lewis, and we take a look at some of the other moves. So, again, the Eagles, this pick has been pretty much everywhere. They started at 6. They traded down to 12 with the Dolphins, and now they move back up to 10. That's Howie Roseman making a lot of moves around the draft, Lewis, and that's an organization you know very well.
Yeah, look, they very much so are a team that is very draft-centric in terms of moving, and they like to, and in that vein, they like to move up and down the draft boards. They like to try and find value. They like to create value for themselves in future years by obtaining more picks, which is what the original emphasis was to move down. Now they see a player maybe that they want. They want to take him away from the division rival, so let's move back up. We have some ammo to do it now. Let's move back up, get a guy if we really like him, help out our quarterback, help us score points, help us get back in contention in the NFC overall as far as getting back to the Super Bowl.
And when you have situations like this, guys, you get a Rashawn Slayer slipping down just a bit. And that is a word you could use because he was right there with Penei Sewell. So they can't all go in the top 10. Some really good players that were projected to go high, guys, always dropped into the middle of the first. That's happening again this year.
Well, I think the expectation, certainly at least according to many of the mock drafts, was that we'd wait a little longer for the corners. The 2 corners that we've seen go off the board so far, the J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain, both outstanding players. But that, I think, is what has
Dallas was some of the guys to move on. Patrick Surtain, but he's gone, and now Dallas trades out.
All right, so again, the Eagles were at 6, then at 12. Now they're at 10, and a trade with their arch-rival Dallas Cowboys. The Eagle fan is getting out of the honorary chair. Roger Goodell is getting set to announce the pick. The Giants are waiting next. The Cowboys are down at 12, so it is a run through the NFC East, and we're about to find out who it is the Eagles wanted to move up and get tonight. Here comes Roger Goodell with the 10th pick.
The Dallas Cowboys have traded the 10th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 10th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Devonta Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
And so both the Alabama receivers have gone. That's 3 Bama players that have been drafted in the top 10 tonight. And Desmond Howard across the street is unquestionably applauding for his Heisman Trophy winning brother, as Devonta Smith is the first receiver since Dez to win the Heisman. And you see that moment backstage there with Mac Jones. That's only the 4th receiver ever to win the award. Lewis, let's talk about Devonta Smith.
This guy, he is just a big play waiting to happen, and he can do it in the myriad of
Great
ways. He can do it.
wide receiver. Who knows if he's going to pan out because of how tiny he is and how thin he is. But great pick. But bad position. If the Eagles didn't trade up, they would have still got him. Doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Because there's no way Dallas is taking a wide receiver. There's no way. They took CD Lamb. They have Amari Cooper. They have all those. There's no way they're taking a wide receiver. The Giants just signed Galladay. They're not going. They're going defense. Like, you literally just gave away a draft pick to get the same guy you would have got. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I can go up and get it. I can complete the catch in all environments. Calvin really does the exact same thing down the field. Quick inside release, and then just sprint up the alley. And you see here, the defensive back falling down at his feet. You still maintain your concentration. That's That's the kind of thing that this wide receiver room needs. Because just remember this, as a group, the Philadelphia Eagles wide receivers had the third fewest receiving yards in the NFL last year. That is not going to fly.
So dumb. All my friends are Eagles fans, so I'm like rooting for them, you know?
And, you know, look, all that's been talked about with this receiver, all during the whole process was how much does he weigh? How big is he? Let me say this. Size is not a skill, Mel. Size isn't a skill. And when you talk about a skill position player like Devonta Smith, a guy that Lewis talked about elegantly, can do everything at the receiver position, look at the skill level. He did it at the highest level. He did it against the best DBs in the country in the SEC. So I don't want to hear anything about his size. He's big enough. He can play enough. He can make any play in the NFL that he made in college.
And right now he's with Susie Snickers, brings us down to the stage. Susie?
Now 7 Alabama wide receivers taken in the first round since 2011. Devontae, what are you most proud of in your journey to get to this moment?
Just that all my hard work is paying off. I mean, being around those guys that I played with, I mean, they taught me a lot. And just us being held to a high standard, just having that standard in that room and everybody's come behind us going to be held to the same standard.
Hey, just to prove how daunting this draft process can be, I can't imagine how many times you were asked about size and all of this. What do you want Eagles fans to know about the way you play the game?
Yeah, every day you're going to get the best out of it, no matter what the circumstance.
Makes sense if it's the Eagles. Well, anything makes sense because they're the fucking Eagles.
Congratulations.
Okay. We have like I said to go to 12. We have pick and a half left. So I figured I'd break out the champagne.
Greeny, we have the Giants trading number 11 to the Chicago Bears. The
Bears trade up for Fields.
The Giants get back in return. The Bears first next year, they're 5 this year, and they're 4 next year. So you see the picks that they get back in addition to the 1 this year. Next year's 1, 5 this year, 4 next year. The Bears are coming up.
Thank you very much, Raul. Good to see you. Look at this sweet champagne for Chicago. They're probably going to pick Zach Wilson, but they should pick Fields.
That the Bears fans and the Bears team desperately needs. You see Mac Jones, he's available.
Or Mac Jones, sorry.
Fields is available for them. Booger, what are you thinking?
I'm going Mac Jones because do they dare go down the same road as Mr. Trubisky, the dual threat guy with the athletic ability? They've seen that in Justin Fields. So do they go down that road, or do you go with the guy that can play the position the old school way, sit back and pick you apart? May not have the athleticism.
I grabbed 2. That's how it rolls.
Yeah, it just depends on which one you're on. Obviously, Mac Jones brings a different skill set. He's a pocket passer who's tremendously smart, tremendously accurate. Justin Fields equally as adept in those areas. To me, I'm a Justin Fields guy. He was my 2nd highest rated quarterback. Mac was my 4th highest rated quarterback. I'm going Justin Fields over Mac Jones. I think New England is interesting because who fits New England the best here? For me, it's Mac Jones. And that's the fit there perfect for them. Chicago's now ahead of New England. What does New England do? Sit at 15 and they got Justin Fields enough to take them? This pick impacts the they do at 15.
Dude, if they don't take Fields, then like I don't even know what to say.
Right now on the general manager in Chicago, Ryan Pace, and the head coach, Matt Nagy.
Look, I think we know how much pressure's on both of those. There's no question about that. I think this pick is going to have Matt Nagy, the head coach's fingerprints all over it. All over it. In my estimation, that's who's making this pick. This is his evaluation. He evaluated the quarterback class that had Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson and Mitch Trubisky, and I know exactly how he liked those guys. I know how he had those guys ranked. This is his pick. If it's a quarterback, it's his pick because he knows it's his rear end that's on the line, and he's going to take his guy. So let's just see which one it is. So, and based on their job security, you would think that this pick has to come and play really soon because their job is on the line in Chicago. So this pick has got to be on the field in order to get this process started.
It seems unfathomable they would have traded up to here not to take a quarterback. So it seems that way. We don't know what Roger Goodell is about to tell us, but it seems impossible now to imagine it will not be one of the 2 quarterbacks.
I would have to think it's one of the 2 quarterbacks. Think about the windy.
Cheers, homie.
Think about Mac Jones. The arm strength Justin Fields had. Think about Andy Dalton there. Without the great arm strength. You think about this whole organization about having to win now, giving up a 1 next year. So all those things I think go into this to say, will it be Mac Jones or will it be Justin Fields? I think we're pretty much guaranteed it's going to be one of those 2.
Well, here is the moment that fans in Chicago have been.
It's so interesting because whoever picks this quarterback, the Patriots get whoever isn't picked here.
Traded up up with the Giants to number 11. Here's Robert.
Through this year's draft-a-thon, the NFL is supporting our nation's path to recovery from COVID-19 by focusing on the critical issues of mental health, food insecurity, health disparities, and the digital divide. Throughout the pandemic, health disparities widen in communities of color, indigenous communities, and for older and rural Americans. We're joining forces with the CDC Foundation as part of a draft-a-thon to meet the basic needs like nutrition, safety, and health. Carlos Nelson, who's behind me, has been doing just that, leading the Greater Auburn Gresham Development Corporation in Chicago. His dream of creating a federally qualified health center to provide medical care in his neighborhood is becoming a reality with support from the Chicago Bears, and it will open in 2022. Congratulations, Carlos, and please take it away with the Bears selection.
Well, how exciting is this? With the 11th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, my Chicago Bears select Justin Fields.
Yes! See, cheers, fucking Chicago. Thank you for not fucking it up. Thank you for not fucking it up. I think you guys made a great pick. I think he's going to be a great quarterback for you.
Justin Fields. He never lost a game in the Big Ten. He threw 6
Winners. You guys are winners. Now the Patriots take Zach, whatever the fuck his name, and now they win for 40 more years.
Yeah. Threw 6 against Clemson in the playoff in January. When the Big Ten initially shut down for the 2020 season, he organized an online petition that got over 320,000 signatures. He wanted to play, and he was one of the players who needed it the least for his draft stock. Justin Fields has superstar potential. He's headed to Chicago, where they desperately need him. Mel Kiper, let's go. Yeah, the Windy City, you need the big arm, and Justin Fields has the big arm. He's got tremendous.
He's like a more athletic Cam Newton, basically.
Number 1 player, along with Trevor Lawrence, 1-1-8 coming out of high school, goes to Georgia, then he leaves.
Matt, man, I think I'm not going to say he's going to be a fucking amazing quarterback, but I think you have a really good quarterback. Listen, I'm a Michigan fan. I hate Ohio State. I think he's like I think Haskins sucks ass. I think I don't like Ohio State. I think you have a really good quarterback right now. He was my second best quarterback in the draft.
Rushed for 10 in a season, did that in 2019. Yeah, he has to speed things up a bit, but you're talking about a kid who did it in 2019 at an elite level, and this year in a COVID year with all the interruptions.
I think you'll be happy. Are you gonna win like 9 Super Bowls? No one does that shit. But sneakily, I think you basically got the second best quarterback in the draft. And you had no rhyme or reason getting anybody close to that because you guys are you're midfield. So I think what did you give up? Like a 3rd round pick for this? I think you had the draft when they grade the draft at the end of the night. I think you guys are up there towards number 1. Let's put it that way.
So how fast they can get him ready to play, that's going to be key. Yeah, look, this is Matt Nagy to a team.
You have Andy Dalton for a year. Let him teach him a little bit. I think it's a great pick, dude. Great pick.
He probably sees a lot of the same things in Justin. He's going to have to continue to develop his drop back game and make sure.
So the smartest thing that Dallas could do right now is trade back again with the Patriots. So the Patriots come up and get the Zach Jones or Mac Jones or whatever the fuck his name is. It's the smartest thing that could happen right now. And Dallas gets a ton of draft capital. It goes from there.
This is what we needed. If you're David Montgomery, if you're the offensive line, the city of Chicago, you guys should be out in the streets just dancing and having a good time. Because you know what? Your head coach now has this is my guy. This is what I'm going to develop. Trust me. I think I know what I'm doing as far as evaluating quarterbacks and bringing in youngsters. We did it down there in Kansas City. Let's just see if we can recreate it here. But you're right. How long can you afford to wait to put him on the field?
That's the key.
How quickly can you get him on the field?
Let's think about that division. Aaron Rodgers is not happy in Green Bay. He's moving on, then it becomes Jordan Love, right? Minnesota's got Kirk Cousins, kind of a plateau quarterback. We all agree with that, right? Then you got the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff starting over. Now you got Justin Fields, who has more talent than any of them. Okay? More except Aaron Rodgers, obviously, he may not be a Packer. So what's left in this division, even though like Jordan Love, Justin Fields could end up being the best quarterback in the division, which is you're going to go to the playoffs, you're going to try to win a Super Bowl, which is why you go through all these exercises. You got to have the elite quarterback.
The party is on Rush Street tonight. They're turning up at Gibson's and Hugo's and everywhere else in Chicago.
We have to. I said I was going to stick around till pick 12, but we're going to have to stick around till the Patriots pick, unfortunately. So 20 more minutes, then we're done. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, he's going to come back. They're going to score 38, 40 points a game. But when you have a defense that gave up the most points in franchise history, and we can talk about the coordinator Mike Nolan, we can blame him and say he was on the couch. He never should have been coaching. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Hey, the players are the ones that step on the field, and the players aren't good enough on that side of the football.
CJ, my man, what's going on, homie? Hopefully everything's great with you.
Couldn't agree more. Look, you need more firepower on that side. You needed it all 3 levels. Yeah, you can totally take DBA best player available, and if that's Michael Parsons, he fits what you want. Turn in the cards.
Yeah, we have talked a lot about the corners going in this spot. Horn or Surtain, both of them have gone off the board. So again, the Cowboys began the night at 10. They trade back with the Eagles to 12, and their pick is in. Here comes Roger Goodell to announce it. Someone is joining him up on the stage. So Roger momentarily delayed, and here we go. A special presentation from the NFL.
Through Draftathon, we're partnering with Mental Health America to support resources for those that need it. Kanikia Bedrang, an Army veteran from Dallas, struggled with anxiety and depression after returning from Iraq. She turned her struggle into triumph and is now a licensed social worker who provides mental health counseling. Kanikia, we thank you for your service and all you do to continue to help others during this challenging time. Please do us the honor of making the Cowboys pick.
Oh my God! How about them Cowboys? Woo! Yeah! It was the 12th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Dallas Cowboys select Michael Parsons.
Yeah. So CJ says here, he's just moved my first half, drinking some Allagash bottled in 16. Hoping my Washington football team drafts some help for Fist Magic. Well, it came closer because Dallas, drafted Micah Parsons, which I think is hope all is well with you, buddy. New father and all. Yeah. I mean, you're close. You're close. You're close, man.
Big enough size-wise, but he also has the speed to play in the middle of the field, and there's nothing he can't do. You want to put him there and say, okay, diagnose the play, go make the play. See ball, hit ball, tight ends are not going to block me. Michael Parsons is coming downhill. You want to say, okay, I'm going to line you up in the box, little play action there. Okay, no doubt. I can shed, stack, and release, and I can chase down and go make a play.
He's only played linebacker 2 years. In high school, he was a defensive end rushing the passer. He can play in coverage. You can blitz him. He can be a thumper coming downhill. There's nothing at the linebacker position that Micah Parsons cannot do. And for the Dallas Cowboys to get the best defensive player in the draft at pick number 12, they got to be ecstatic.
What's the biggest problem the Cowboys have had is not being able to.
Hope all is well with you, buddy. New father-in-law. We already went over that. And Carson says, yeah, how's the Massive Bean doing? He's doing awesome. Like, he's such a good dude. Like, he's so cool. Like, he laughs and giggles and has fun. And you know, like, when you read all these kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like leaps and steps in the child's development. You kind of like expect certain things, but he's like, I'm not saying he's advanced, but like he seems like he's like a decently ahead of the curve. Like a month and a week in, he's like reacting and having fun and laughing and doing all these cool things. I don't know. I'm smitten. Let's put it that way. So.
Just a moment again, Lewis, this is a player who, if he had played in 2020, may have heard his name called earlier tonight.
Yeah, look, he's a guy who can control from sideline to sideline. He'll play all 3 downs. On 3rd down, it'll be interesting to see how Dan Quinn uses it. Will he use him in coverage, or will you put his hand down and let him rush off the edge? Will you send him up the A and B gap about Bobby Wagner, so what he did in Seattle? Great pick for them. Great pick for them from an XNO standpoint, no question.
And he is now standing by with Susie. Snickers takes us back down to the stage. Susie.
I've seen Mike Parsons get emotional over being named All-America, over running a 4.39 at your pro day. How would you explain what this moment is like for you and for your parents?
This moment is so big. Like, y'all don't even understand. Like, my parents was a Cowboys fan, and all last year I said I was going to Dallas. Like, if God's not real, I don't know what is. Like, this is so unreal. It's crazy.
This moment is a dream for every kid who loves the NFL out there. So how would you tell them you feel in this moment walking out here and hugging the commissioner?
No matter what you go through, any trials and tribulations, Lord knows I done went through it all. Keep your head up high, keep working, keep striving, and believe in God. And everything's going to come true. God's the key. Keep faith. And, you know, just keep going, man. Shout out to the city, man. Harrisburg, PA. I hope all you guys come here one day, man.
Way to go, Micah.
I always hate, and like, I'm an atheist, so when people talk about like God, I always find it as like sad.
There is now a 70% chance.
It's like, thank God. They're like, well, why do you thank the Easter Bunny or Slender Man or fucking the Boogeyman? I don't know. They're all the same thing. Like, it's like bullshit. So we're gonna sit here. It's 13th pick, which is like offensive lineman for Chargers. We're talking about Minnesota go anywhere. Then we're talking about quarterback at New England. I just want to stick to New England. Then we're done. And we'll go from there. We'll see what's what. So, we're at 2 hours now. Yeah.
The new handcrafted quesadilla at Chipotle. It's a whole new way to adobo chicken, a whole new way to guac, and a whole new way to order. Because it's only in the app or online. The new quesadilla. It's a whole new way to Chipotle.
I remember when I was younger, my mom had the conversation with all 3 of us. Do you really want to play in the NFL?
They have dreamed about playing in the NFL together.
That's champagne, yo.
This is what it's going to take. Trey was the first. And of course, Terrell and Tremaine. At that point, we felt, okay, this dream is going to come true.
On behalf of our family, we did want to gift you with a little small token of appreciation.
Oh, thank you, boys.
Someday, I'm going to marry you. Someday, we'll buy that little place on Ellsworth. Some days will be rougher than others.
Lost to California. Time after
CJ saying, didn't get to hear your response, but I hope that High Life is treating you well. I'm on to some Jenny Cream next. There you go, brother. Jenny Cream, fuck the world.
Look identical, but with Carfax, you'll see how a car's history affects its value.
I always knew you were an accident.
Stop overpaying.
I'm still mom's favorite.
Shop at the all-new Carfax.com.
Sometimes you take it easy, and sometimes you make it easy. That's the fine life, baby.
The new handcrafted quesadilla at Chipotle. It's a whole new way to adobo chicken, a whole new way to block.
Football beer. Okay.
Because it's only in the app or online.
We know Jenny Cream Ale. That's what we know, brother.
I always felt like if they put me on the field, they're never going to take me on.
Just a skinny little twerp out of Michigan. I didn't perceive him as a threat.
I'm going to make the decisions that I think are the best for the team. TEAM as in team.
Nothing else to talk about. Listen, what's so special about Tom? I'm going to talk trash to him and try to frustrate him.
Nobody's caring about no daggone records. We want that undefeated season. Kept going. Where's the respect?
This is the 2021 NFL Draft, presented by Courtyard by Marriott.
Back in Cleveland, time to look at Mel's best available. Brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott. Mel?
Outstanding football players, Gritty, with high grades still on the board. You look at the guy at the top of that list, Rashawn Slayer, Northwestern, opted out this year, but had been an elite left tackle in 2019. Right tackle prior to that, there's Elijah Vera Tucker. Played left tackle. He's a guard in the NFL. He will be a Pro Bowl guard. And there's Mac Jones sitting there. Well, New England still in at 15. We'll see on that. And Elijah Moore, the diminutive dynamo, slot receiver, return man. And there's the best pure pass rusher in the draft, Jaylen Phillips. Wasn't UCLA, was in Miami, some durability concerns, but the ability to come off that edge, that bend that he has off that edge, is something I think is going to get him drafted with the first 20-25 picks.
That is Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. He's here in our green room waiting to hear his name called. Elijah Vera Tucker from USC. Again, as you mentioned, outstanding tackle for the Trojans and projects to being a guard. It's a name that a lot of people have talked a good deal about, but you do think when you consider, Booger, how good Justin Herbert was a year ago, this has to be an offensive lineman, doesn't it?
Well, it's one of the things that we always talk about creating team building. You have your young quarterback, so how are you going to support the young quarterback? You have to make sure that the young quarterback is upright. Their offensive line, Herbert got banged up and beat up a little bit, so you would think one of the best tackles, some people think the best tackle is Slater left on the board. You would think this would be his pick, and now you start to build your team and protect the young quarterback.
It has to be. I was concerned whether he would be here. Right. Would Carolina take him? Well, I think if you're the Chargers, the Tom Telesco, the GM, you got to be pretty thrilled that now Justin Herbert may not get hit nearly as much because of Rashawn Slayer's ability to pass.
It's funny how one thing impacts something else. Cincinnati doesn't take Penei Sewell, which means he falls, which means Slater is available here for the Chargers if that's the direction that they choose to go. We see the commissioner, Roger Goodell, is making his way out to the podium. The Chargers are picking.
It's like the most boring pick ever.
The commissioner is ready.
We know what it is. Slater, let's go.
With the 13th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Rashawn Slater Jr.
Yeah.
Northwestern.
Okay.
There he is. A moment of purple pride, if we can, for the first.
Everybody's dressed for the prom.
Drafted in round one since 2005.
I see you smiling, Greedy. I see you smiling.
I will merely say that I did not wear a purple tie tonight by accident. And there is the National Coach of the Year, Pat Fitzgerald. And this is his first number one pick since he has been the head coach at Northwestern, and so a great moment of pride for him. Maybe another one coming tonight, but let's, Mel, take a close look at this young star, Rashawn Slayer.
I think the question is going to be, does he have the length? He's 6'4", he's 304, he's got tremendous strength. He made a name for himself himself at right tackle 2 previous years. And in 2019, he switches over to left tackle. He doesn't allow a sack, but we allowed 2 pressures the entire year. Excellent footwork. Think about his father, Reggie, played 8 seasons in the NBA. Really good hand placement, good punch, mirrors with ease, good with the combo blocks, shot put and discus in high school. I don't know what you can't like about Rashawn Slayer. Now, you like to say he's 6'5", like to say he's got tremendously long arms, all that, but the bottom line is I remember Brad Hopkins came out of Illinois, had a heck of a career in the NFL at left tackle, and I think Rashawn Slayer for Justin Herbert is something. You talk about a dream come true if you're the Chargers, see a player like this there. When Penny sold, we thought Carolina would be a team that would look at Slater after Sewell was gone. They opted for J.C. Horn in the corner. That's why Slater's here for the Chargers.
But I'll tell you this, Mel. I think Rashawn Slater, of all these offensive linemen, has the ability to be an all-pro the quickest. I didn't say Pro Bowl, all-pro, whether it be at guard or tackle.
Remember Chase Young?
Okay, absolutely. Against Ohio State 2 years ago, he was blocking him one-on-one. They weren't sliding to him. They weren't giving him help, and he was dealing with them. This guy has typewriter for feet. He got tremendous base. He can play the gap scheme.
Carson, today I've learned contrasting color on suit is the thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. So let's go. This kid is a stud. I've watched some clips of him diagram who plays up on the board. He's brilliant from a football intellect standpoint. He's tailor-made for what they need out there. I think within 2 years, this kid is an all-pro. Not Pro Bowl, an all-pro.
I was on a Zoom with Pat Fitzgerald earlier this week, and he said that the versatility is something that all of the NFL teams have been raving about. The fact that he can play outside, that he can play inside, that he can play right, he can play on the left side. He was a guard in high school. He was a guard in high school, and there he is. A proud moment for Pat Fitzgerald.
That's cool.
And again, it might just be the beginning of his night. Susie will have an interview with Rashawn Slayer. You mentioned his dad again. Reggie played in the NBA, so a lot of great athletic past there. And for Northwestern now, they hadn't had a first-round pick since 2005. This snaps the 3rd longest active drought without a first-round selection among Power 5 conference schools. Iowa State and Indiana have gone longer waiting for a player to be drafted in round 1, and Northwestern has Rashawn Slater go tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the kind of offensive line that Justin Herbert had that fantastic rookie year behind. One of the worst in the NFL as far as pass block win rate, run block win rate. I mean, they were just getting blooded. This guy was having the complete passes with people in his face over and over and over again. This may have been really, when it comes down to the first round, this may have been the easiest pick of the draft. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's almost like they were placing there, like, giggling themselves, like, really? Rashawn Slater's here for us? Given what we need? Oh, my God. I mean, this is perfect. This played out perfect.
Mel, I feel like early in the process, you were mocking this to happen. This was one that a lot of people saw coming. Meanwhile, Snickers, Susie on the stage with Rashawn Slayer.
Well, like many of the top prospects in 2020, you opted out of the season. Just given the extra stress of that and the last handful of months, how big is this moment for you?
I mean, it's everything because it was so hard being out. But I use that as just motivation to keep going harder in my training and just be even more prepared in this moment. And now I finally see my dream realized. I can't believe it.
So now potentially you could be protecting the blind side of Justin Herbert. What do you want Justin to know, as well as all these Chargers fans, about the way you play the game?
I got your back, man. Hey, I'm a great technician. I'm gonna do my thing. I got you. Let's get it.
Awesome job, bro. Congratulations.
It's a great moment for Rashawn Slater, and this is interesting. The New York Jets have made a trade. They've moved out
Fucking Jets. The fucking Jets. The fucking Jets.
A special announcement from Lowe's home team general manager, the legendary Drew Brees.
With our first pick in the draft,
The fucking Jets. God damn.
Mr. Brees, I'm just so humbled to be chosen. You know, everyone knows what I can do on the field, but nobody's seen what I can do off the field just yet.
So what community will you go help out first?
Now, since I have the Lowe's home team backing me, I got to start with the folks back in my home state of Georgia, so I'm excited.
Welcome to the home team. You ready?
Your craving?
So the Jets trade up.
Where seasoned beef and crispy potatoes cozy up inside of a warm tortilla. So enjoy the view for just $1. $1 beefy potato meal, only at Taco Bell.
Who the fuck are they trading up
No
for?
Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now you do.
What is that?
My what?
It's just that it's.
Lavender? Yes, it is. Old Spice. It's for me.
But I'm excited.
It's a wish list on wheels. A choice that requires no explanation. If you're safe and daring, seamlessly intersect. It's understated, yet over-delivers. It is truly the Mercedes-Benz of sports sedans. Lease the 2021 C300 sedan for just $449 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Hey, Jake from State Farm, man. Thanks again for the Rogers rate on my insurance.
Here's the deal. There's no Rogers rate. State Farm just has surprisingly great rates.
Look, I know you don't offer it to just anyone, okay?
We do offer it to anyone. Literally anyone.
Our little secret.
Oh. Yeah. Oops. I can help with that. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We've been at this for a year. Juggling, struggling, winning, and losing. But the light is ahead, and it invites us not to go back to where we left off, but to break through, to redefine how we relate, to reinvent the way we work, and reimagine how we communicate. This is our moment to build something new.
Order some burritos.
Burritos? Get a freshly made footlong from Subway instead, with crisp veggies on freshly baked bread. Just order in the app. Ditch the burgers.
Choose better, be better.
Subway, eat fresh.
As the philanthropic centerpiece of the NFL Draft, Draftathon raises awareness for key issues at the intersection of pandemic recovery and our hardest hit communities. An estimated 1 in 8 Americans, including 1 in 6 children, could face food insecurity this year due to the pandemic. Feeding America is determined to make sure everyone has enough food on the table. Let's see to it that nobody goes hungry. Donate now to Draftathon and help end hunger.
Just wonderful work being done by the National Football League, all their teams, and you see there the opportunity to make a difference if you can, NFL.com/draftathon. And as we segue back to the NFL, once again, the New York Jets have traded up. They have moved up to the Viking spot at 14, and the commissioner, Roger Goodell, is making his way out onto the stage. The Jets, who earlier tonight took Zach Wilson, the quarterback, at number 2. Let's see who they've moved up for here.
If the Jets take a running back right now, I'll laugh my head off.
The 14th pick to the New York Jets. With the 14th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Elijah Vera Tucker, guard, USC.
Okay. Fine.
So the Jets identify their man and they move up and they get him. Elijah Vera Tucker is from Oakland. He won the Morris Trophy as the best lineman in the Pac-12. Penei Sewell had won it the year before. He allowed just 4 pressures on 849 snaps over the past 2 years. And by the way, his LinkedIn page says he eventually wants to be a sports broadcaster. So he'll play in the league for about 15 years. Then he'll be up here with us, Mel. But let's talk about Elijah Vera Tucker.
This is Jets GM Joe Douglas pumping out his new quarterback, Zach Wilson. And I think you look at the left side of that line now, you got Mekhi Becton, mountain of a man, the dancing bear at left tackle. Now you got Elijah Vera Tucker at left guard. That's where he'll play for the New York Jets, the way it looks going in. Think about left tackle this year because they needed him there. Left guard in 2019, which will be his position with the New York Jets. In those 2 years at left tackle and left guard, only 2 holding penalties in those 849 snaps and only 2 sacks allowed. Zach Martin, Quentin Nelson are guards that came into the league and they were automatic. And I think the fact that Elijah Vera Tucker, we know he's a guard. He played tackle and he held his own. Lou, you always brought up Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be a top pick.
Yeah, hey, I wasn't knocking the guy. Thibodeau's the man.
Thibodeau's the man. Is right. He's got like a Myles Garrett, Clowney, that kind of great player. But when you get him inside at left guard for the Jets, that foundation piece at left guard to help Zach Wilson for the New York Jets is why we said, hey, Joe Douglas is going to do what's necessary to help this quarterback. They didn't do it with Darnold. They're going to do it with Wilson.
Well, and when you think about what offensive coordinator Michael LaFleur, what they want to do, they want to run that San Francisco running scheme. And Vera Tucker, not only can he zone block, but he can get to the second level, athletic enough. This is a perfect fit for this offense.
And so, Louis Riddick, I come to you as the Jets have made their move. The New England Patriots have had one of the more unusual off seasons by their standards that you could ever possibly imagine. There is Bill Belichick in the Patriots draft room. They went out and spent all of that money in free agency, which is very unlike them. And the one area where we wondered is, would they make a move at quarterback? And would that be the man they'd be moving to get? Lewis, what do you expect?
I don't see how it's not like this. Okay, right now in my head, I hear the Imperial March when Darth Vader comes coming in on one of the spaceships, and I think that's Bill coming through the mist going, I'm going to do it again. I sat here at 15.
We're cutting this off like as soon as the Patriots pick, it's over. Because if it is Mac Jones, we should cut it off. If it's not Mac Jones, we should cut it off.
You don't have to wait long to find out because the commissioner is
Big is in.
And he's about to announce it. Roger Goodell making his way to the podium. Belichick sat at 15, and let's see what move he's going to make. Here comes the commission.
With food insecurity a challenge for so many Americans, we've teamed up with Feeding America as part of Draftathon to help fight hunger. John Cox, who's behind me, a former Marine, saw a need in his community and started providing food to fellow veterans. He and his team have provided more than 5.6 million meals in 10 different states through Food for Vets. Don, thank you for your service to our country and for helping those facing food insecurity. The stage is yours to make the Patriots pick.
With the 15th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the six-time world champion New England Patriots select Mac Jones.
It's not fair.